Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. I'm doing this cryptid now, and actually a monster, a cryptid that could be the biggest cryptid I've ever talked about. And I'll start off first mentioning that the very first Cryptids and Monsters video that I did a while back was specifically a cryptid called Bloop, and the reason I did that one was because I wanted to start off this channel with what I found to be was the biggest cryptid of them all. A cryptid that's so large that it dwarfs a blue whale. So if a blue whale, let's say, is average, let's say 100 feet or so long, then according to Bloop and those who report on Bloop, Bloop itself would dwarf it, so maybe at least 10 times as much. So we're looking at 1,000 feet long. And again, that's huge. Whenever it comes to any kind of cryptid, nothing else beats it. Well, it looks like there's a cryptid out there that did, and I found it, and it's called Zaratan. You'll see a picture of it here. Basically, what Zaratan is, what this cryptid is it's a gigantic sea turtle, and gigantic does not begin to describe it in terms of how big it is. It is apparently so big that its entire back is the size of an island. The entire shell is an island in of itself. Now let that sink in for a moment. If you look at any of the, let's say, common islands surrounding the U.S., even let's use Hawaii for example. Hawaii, and I looked it up, it's about 4,000 square miles long. Let's not compare that though. Let's use one of the really smaller islands surrounding Hawaii, and let's say one of those islands is only like 10 miles long. Again, tiny compared to the overall size of Hawaii. Even if we use that as a comparison, 10 miles long, that's how big something like this creature is. Again, 10 miles compared to 1,000 feet absolutely dwarfs any other cryptid that's out there. And the reason why Zaratan is apparently the size of an island is because sailors mistaken it for an island. The legend goes that back then, when there were sailors traversing the seas, they saw this small island, and they decided, okay, let's go ahead and we'll park here. We'll put up the moat. The boat will set anchor. We'll rest here for the night, and then go traveling later on. Well, what happened apparently was that very night, while the sailors are sleeping, the island starts moving, and the island actually starts sinking. And the reason for this is because Zaratan, who is apparently a night dweller of sorts, starts actually coming alive and then sinks into the sea. And when that happens, sure enough, it takes away anybody that's on the island, and it drowns them. In fact, Zaratan is so huge that, again, it's the size of it is so gigantic that if one apparently looks at it, one wouldn't recognize flippers from up close because it's too large. You would have to look at it from a very far away angle. And it is also believed that Zaratan inspired the legendary stories of the Kraken, which was a sea monster also that apparently attacked ships, but in this case Zaratan dwarfed everything. Now again, when one thinks about that, Zaratan would indeed have the king title, the largest cryptid ever or currently existing on Earth. Because again, when you consider a small island, even let's say if it's 5 miles big, that still dwarfs anything and everything that has ever or is currently existing out there on Earth. Pretty cool stuff, pretty cool concept on there. Also, what's interesting about Zaratan is the way that it feeds. Because it's so big, it's so immobile, it can essentially just open its mouth, and it lets all the fish that it wants to eat come in. It apparently emits some kind of smell that allows the fish to be attracted to it. And then once enough fish are inside its mouth, it closes it, and it eats. And that's how it eats on there. If something like Zaratan truly existed, it would be so fascinating to watch from afar, because there's this grace associated with watching very large animals move about. What instantly reminded me of Zaratan was, if anybody's ever seen the movie The Mist, towards the end of the movie, there's this gigantic creature that the main characters study from afar, and you'll see a picture of it here. This is a creature that's so big Again, it dwarfs anything on Earth, including a blue whale. It is so big that its legs extended all the way to the clouds themselves, and it passes by the characters in the film. And the way that something so big and large moves, it's with such grace and yet with such power, and it'd be absolutely fascinating if Zaratan, if one were able to observe it, either under the sea or in and around the top of the sea, to see, like, let's say, its giant flippers move about. It would look so beautiful, so graceful, but at the same time so dangerous. One would realize is essentially how powerful such a simple move could be. Or if somebody, let's say, comes about and sees its head or its mouth, again, frightening, very, very horrifying stuff, but at the same time, so beautiful to see. So, anyways, that's the legend, that's the story of this cryptid, Zaratan. What are your thoughts? Share your comments below. Do you think something like that out there truly exists, is out there, to inspire this legend out there? Be sure to post your comments below. Thanks again, everybody. Take care.